who hasn't fought, you know, Ricky Hatton and Oscar De La Hoya are the only ones maybe hasn't fought. And I was talking to Tris Dixon the other day, and Tris was saying, you think he was coming through the same time as Ricky Hatton? It's just ridiculous that.
I remember that vividly. As you can see, Mark Kriski's about to announce our opening contest. I remember that. I'm just thinking, not sure I want to see Ricky in with him at that particular time, around the turn of the millennium, 2002, 2003.
When he beat when Cotto beat Malik Nagy, you referred to, it was around that time, and they were both coming through at the same time. It's ridiculous how, you know, Ricky's retired and Cotto's still boxing on, looking for another 2 or 3 fights.
37 he is in October. He says December 31st, he's done. No. You don't believe it?
No, purely...
I would have the Puerto Rican farewell in June. That would be the obvious.
Cool. I just don't think it'll go on in the end of this year.
Right, well, there's Davis Julio, who's going to be the opponent in the ring for Joey Gonzalez. He's a real come-forward fighter. He's aggressive. He doesn't really use his strength, his height and reach. He just wants to get inside and do some damage. So, looking forward to seeing him. Let's get the full announcement.
Let's hear it for Joet Gonzalez. Once again, referee in charge of the action, Jack Reese.
Yeah, just a quick word then from our ring announcers. They come to centre stage. Hopefully there'll be plenty of people there to see Cotto a bit later on. Our top team is John and Barry with the call.
Thank you very much, Alex. Final instructions being given by Jack Reese. Joet Gonzalez, favourite to win this one. Based in California, undefeated in 16 fights. Deivi Julio, with his back to you, the Colombian. Older man by some 13 years, 36 years old.
And that's southpaw as well, so it just gives Gonzalez a little bit more to think about. I know Gonzalez likes to take the centre of the ring. He likes to be aggressive with that long jab of his, but it's just going to be a little bit more difficult, obviously up against the southpaw, just to establish that jab, so he needs maybe a little more patience in his work.
StubHub Centre slowly filling up in what could well be the penultimate contest that we see Miguel Cotto in tonight, assuming that he wins, which by some reckoning is a big assumption. Gonzalez, we saw beating Derek Murray back in April, Barry, and looked a decent prospect. Stopped him in the 5th round of an 8-rounder.
Well, I like what he does, because he wants to be aggressive, but he got a nice long reach, and he does. I said he needs to show a bit of patience because he got against the southpaw, but he does show that patience, and he does pick his shots quite well, as we're seeing here. He's always looking to be aggressive, always looking to move forward. He's not just swinging in wild. Everything's thoughtful beyond his work.
Just clipping Julio with the left hand in that exchange. Julio slightly the bigger man, as you can see. Gonzalez only standing, caught him again with that left hand. He only stands about 5'6". Fight made at featherweight. There's that left hand again. I think that's 3 times that he's clipped Julio.
And just seeing their feet get caught up to each other. You get that quite a lot with the orthodox and southpaw stance. Gonzalez got to make sure he just keeps that left foot on the outside when he's advancing forward.
Stop! No more punch.
This is a good fight, I think, for Gonzalez, especially at this stage of his career where Julio, he's got only 2 defeats, so he's always going to come in. He hasn't boxed a high caliber of opposition really, but he's only got 2 defeats. He comes in with a lot of ambition, southpaw as well, so it makes him a little bit awkward. I think for this level now, Gonzalez wants to move on to titles, and this is sort of the perfect fight for that.
Nice body shot, solid right hand from Gonzalez. Julio, who didn't turn pro until he was 32 years old. And worried to win tonight, create the upset, beating the man who effectively is the house fighter, then could very much kickstart and restart his career. First round over. Probably a first round quite clearly to Joet Gonzalez.
Yeah, I thought Gonzalez, you know, he was the one making the play for the best part. I think Julio showed a little bit of ambition there at the end of the round when Gonzalez took his foot off the gas a bit, but for the most part I thought Gonzalez was very effective, patient as well, good to see. Just needs to be just a little bit more aware of where his foot placement is before he attacks. Apart from that, it was a good little round for him.
Father and younger brother in the corner of Gonzalez. Younger brother, undefeated in 5 fights, Juska rather. And some of the action from the opening round.
Just seeing there the feet get tangled up as well. He landed with a nice three straight punches combination. He just got that foot just getting tangled up with the front foot of Julio. And what he needs to do as well is what he's been doing now, is not give Julio any encouragement.
So into the second, scheduled to be a 10-rounder. Gonzalez had a win against Gervonta Davis, also had a loss back in amateur days. Davis, IBF super featherweight champion.
Well, not anymore, Johnny. Failed the weight.
Oh, of course, yeah.
The weight yesterday.
He was a couple of pounds over, wasn't he? So that's been declared vacant, hasn't it? Provided he wins in his contest.
He wins, yeah. That's a good jab there from Gonzalez. Nice solid shot. He might not be the tallest of fighters, but he's got lovely long arms, and he punches from that distance as well. Doesn't get too close to the target when he throws his long shots. Good upper body movement there though from Julio.
Julio's just felt the weight of a couple of the shots that Gonzalez has been putting in there, feeling that his body shots having more effect than Julio's are on Gonzalez. Early stages, of course.
Yeah, and he's trying to keep, to be fair to Julio, he's trying to keep busy. But the quality so far from Gonzalez is just a little bit more, though. Nice little left hand there from Julio. And a good response there back from Gonzalez. But the only thing with Gonzalez, when he lets his hands go in combinations, he takes all the power away. So they're only light taps. You know, when he throws the single shots, there's a bit more weight behind the punch. If he can just finish that combination with a little bit of weight in the last punch, or a little bit more snap in the last punch of the combination, and I think he does a better job on Julio. Nice to see there from Gonzalez, doubling up with that right hand. So it was a good little combination against the southpaw.
Gonzalez slowly being moved up towards championship level. Obviously that's the aim for him, still only 23 years old. And in his fighting at the 10-round distance this time tonight.
Well, 16 fights and 23 years of age, you got all the time in the world. But in this day and age, John, 23 and 16 fights. You know, it's almost, why haven't he been boxing? Why haven't he fought for 5 world titles yet? That's how crazy the sport's become. You just said talk about Gervonta Davis. What's Gervonta? Is he 22, 23?
22, I think, isn't he? 2 rounds done.
2 rounds for Gonzalez, but again, you know, Julio still competitive. But all the real, again, the quality in the work is all from young Gonzalez.
Warm day in the open air arena, and the fighters feeling it.
And it's just that time, isn't it? Just before you get that cooler breeze, you know, they still got the heat of the sun. It's difficult.
Good exchanges.
Yeah, I think this is one of the good parts here for Julio, where he was fighting back, didn't feel under too much pressure, he wasn't worried about what was Gonzalez was landing, but then straight after that, then Gonzalez did start to get the better, I think, up close. But again, it's the perfect opponent for Gonzalez. You got a guy who's firing back, a little bit awkward, and the guy who's just not going to look to move away or look for a way out every time he gets hit. He's always looking to fire back. Is Julio.
And he's unlikely to blow you away with a single shot. I mean, he's reasonably heavy-handed, but he's not a banger. Into the third, and on Barry's card, Gonzalez, right-hand side of your picture. He's taken the first two.
Remember the time you had to wear different shorts, Sean?
Yeah, those are the good old days, weren't there? There were lots of things which used to be a little bit better once upon a time.
Stop! Nobody punch!
A little bit unlucky there, Gonzalez. Made the right movement there, just dipped underneath the punches of Julio, but just the right hand. Just a little bit wayward. Lovely injection of speed there from Gonzalez.
Stop!
Again, just showing that little bit more quality when he lets his hands go compared to Julio.
Let him go. Work out of there. Come on. Stop.
I always think that when you land with the right hand, which is the backhand, against the southpaw, you should always throw it again.
Putting a big effort in here, Julio. Trying to stay with him all the way.
Trying to use that physical strength, isn't he, Gonzalez, to push Julio back, but he's, good right hand from Gonzalez, right on the button.
Stop. Both of you guys, both. Stay off the back of the head. Box.
Julio won his first 17, then got stopped by Kenichi Ogawa in 10 rounds. Stopped again thereafter, and his last contest was a no contest, so he could do with a win to get his career going again.
Well, like you said, he's fighting back, and he really is. But he's under a lot of pressure early on in the fight already, Julio. So he's really gonna have to show what he's made of. Got a feeling this is what Gonzalez is going to do, as long as he got in the tank to do it.
Oh, he's just caught him again with that left hand. It's the left hand that's doing the most damage. Solid body shots as well. Just signs that Gonzalez is starting to weaken Julio at this stage.
Well, he's like a cruder version of Santa Cruz, isn't he? Here, Gonzalez. Good round of action. There'll be 3 good rounds of action where Julio's tried to fire back, but again, you've got to say the busier and the quality of Gonzalez puts another round in the bank for him.
They're going to be happy with the way things are unfolding so far. As we watch there, the Gonzalez corner. And I just thought some of these shots here, there was one where
that was it there.
The legs stiffened a little, maybe.
But that was it, as you were talking, John. It was just that clipping right hand, and right on the point of the chin. See it again here now. There you go. Just stiffened his legs ever so slightly, pushed him back. But then it's just a relentless pressure. That's what's going to be the tell of the resolve here of Julio. If he can just keep firing back, keep relenting against the pressure of Gonzalez.
Signs that this is a fight which Gonzalez will be looking to win inside the distance, maybe, if that last round anything to go by, which was probably the most emphatic to Gonzalez so far as we move into the 4th.
Good jab there from Julio. Nice solid jab. Step behind it.
Gonzalez proudly sporting the shorts with Mexico across the back, though he's actually based in California. Mexican background, of course.
Get off his head, get off his head. Stop, nobody punch.
First minute of this fourth round, he's not been able to get to Julio as yet.
But still put him under pressure with the feet. He'll just stay in there rolling underneath the punches. Julio's not fighting, not throwing punches because he sees gaps, he's throwing because he has to, just to keep Gonzalez away.
And now Gonzalez walks him down and does get through with a solid right hand and another big right hook.
Good body shot there from Gonzalez.
Yeah, definitely the more power, isn't it?
And again, that short right hook there from Gonzalez. Oh, lovely.
Caught him again with the left hook. And again, the legs of Julio just looked as though they stiffened momentarily, and he wanted to hold on just to buy a second or two while his head cleared. Another solid left hand, and Gonzalez is putting the pressure on again now as we move into the last minute of this fourth round.
It's been an educated round here of boxing here from Gonzalez, because he didn't do much the first minute, but he still made...
Oh! Right hand again was right on the button, and once more Julio just wants to hold on. And is the Colombian just starting to unravel a little here? Another solid right hand. He's taken 4 or 5 big headshots in the closing stage of this fourth round.
But he's fighting back, Julio, out of pride, you know, he really is, but just the pressure he's been under. With the feet as well, more than just the hands here from Gonzalez. Good jabs though there from Julio. And he's been the busier of the two by far, John. But
yeah, but the power shots, the damage has been done by Gonzalez, hasn't it? You'd surely go to the quality punches of Gonzalez rather than the work rate. There's another right hand to emphasise it right on the bell.
Yeah, again for me, again like that first minute of that round there, he didn't throw many punches, Gonzalez. But he engineered Julio around with that front foot, putting him under pressure, so he can't regulate his breathing properly there, Julio. Feels under pressure, and then when he tried to go for it there, Gonzalez let his hands go and had all the success that he needed and wanted to win the round.
Sun starting to sink low in the sky now, and sharp shadows being cast across the ring as Gonzalez piled on the pressure in that fourth round.
And you can see the pressure starting to tell, because Julio now looking to hold up close, where in the first couple of rounds he was always trying to fire back. And looking maybe just to take that little rest when Gonzalez gets close.
Not easy for those guys at ringside to see as they look up into the ring. An occasion for shades and baseball caps. Into the fifth round.
Lovely long right hook there from Julio.
He's starting the rounds well, isn't he? Yeah. First minute, but he can't sustain it.
He's got to be starting his punches go again. Gonzalez.
He's had a good minute.
And there's a bigger gap as well for, good left hand there from Gonzalez. There's a bigger gap between the two as well. So Julio's just not under the same sort of pressure he was in the last round.
The blood coming from the nose of Julio, and he is starting to get a bit marked up.
Moving well though here so far, Julio.
Swelling underneath that right eye. Oh, it didn't move too well then. Right hand, right on the button. And he is in dodgy territory now. Referee will have a good look at him. He says he's okay. He wants to see him walk forward and wants to see him looking clear-eyed, and says you may continue. He'll do well now to ride out what is sure to be a big storm coming in from Gonzalez.
But he'll just let his hands go now, Gonzalez. It didn't seem a heavy shot, I just don't think he's seen it. I think it was well disguised there from Gonzalez. They caught him flush and put him right on his backside.
Stop.
He's holding on pretty desperately now.
Drained the energy, didn't it, that little knockdown?
His mouth starting to get busted up as well. Gonzalez is really starting to work the Colombian over. Oh, almost went again.
Nobody punch.
Just caught him, I think, with the inside of the glove.
Yeah. Just over 20 seconds to go here for Gonzalez, and he's let his hands go.
Well, fair play to the bravery of Julio. He's got up, and it was a pretty heavy knockdown, but he's going to survive it through to the end of the round by the looks of it. Two more big right hands. Oh, has he stopped it? He has. He stopped it with just a second and a half to go in that round. Julio doesn't like it, but Gonzalez finishes it in the closing seconds of the round. Jack Reese had seen enough, and in all truth, okay, the bell was coming, and he'd have heard the bang on the side of the ring saying that there was a 10 seconds remaining, but it was clear that the fight was only going one way.
It was only going one way, and I don't think the knockdown was particularly heavy. I think it was a genuine knockdown. I think it was just a punch he'd never seen. I think they're more than a power in the punch, and he was under tremendous pressure, and obviously the referee takes into account the previous rounds of pressure, I'm pretty sure, and Jack Reese is a very good referee. I thought it was maybe a little bit too early, I gotta be honest. I think he might have got stopped anyway, and I didn't want to see any damage done, but he didn't, and obviously he can read the body language better, being like right close to the fighters in the ring. But he just looked tired, Gonzalez, more than hurt to me.
Well, you can see there, he's still down on his stool, and there's a show of respect between the two fighters, but he was starting to get a pasting.
Oh, he might have got stopped the next round, but I just think you hear the klaxon, so there's only 10 seconds left. Maybe give the fighter every opportunity.
Here's where it came. There's the knockdown first of all, earlier in the round.
See, it's a tremendous shot, and it looks really heavy in the slow motion, but I think in real time, maybe I got it wrong. It didn't seem as heavy as it looks there. I just think it was well disguised. It's caught him throwing as well, so it's right through the guard. But the pressure, and he was feeling the pace, and I think Jack Reese probably realised that.
All right,
thought that was enough.
We have an official call.
Here's Mark Kriske announcing it.
Jack Reese stops the fight in the 5th round at 2 minutes and 57 seconds. And your winner, and still remaining undefeated, your winner by knockout, Joet Gonzalez.
So confirmation of the win, and you could see Julio was not impressed, but Joel Gonzalez is the winner, and the undefeated record is extended. It's now 17 out of 17.